Oh, welcome back. Turns out I got a package. Let's see what we got here. Full disclosure, this was sent to me for testing. And my puppy wants to smell the box, of course. But, not your box. Calm down. All right, you want to go sniff the box? Go sniff the box. So here we have the LinkinD Smart Solar Pathway Lights. Bluetooth, this says 4-pack. Adjustable colors. All kinds of different options with these, I think. Now, I tried solar lights a while ago, and they had the nickel metal hydride based type of batteries. I ended up replacing the batteries multiple times. The batteries would die way too early, wouldn't let up more than an hour after the sun went down at some point. It just wasn't at that level to use solar for lights on a walkway or driveway yet at that point years ago. So I gave up on it. We're going to try it again. Of course, this time running a lithium ions 18650, I believe, is what these run. Nicely separated little packages here. Actually, I got 4 lights and box of pretty much accessories to go with it, and another box of accessories to go with it. Let's pull out the lights individually. 4 LEDs on each light. These are a lot bigger than I thought. Look at that. My hands are not small, but that is bigger than I expected. Pole, another pole, another pole, which means there should be another one down here. There we go. Two lampshades, 4 lampshades, and 4 different packs of lenses. I just noticed this, the little metal ring, kind of a brass coated copperish look. It's a nice design touch there. I like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 different lens patterns for each light. So we got little quick starts. 1 on top of every solar panel. LED light combination here, which is really nice. A USB-C plug, which will probably initiate and start the charging cycle and or start the device itself. Oh, apparently we're already in pairing mode. Hit the power button and it goes right into pairing mode, and it is a lot brighter than I expected. I'm sort of seeing spots. Don't look directly into the light. The same kind of copper looking etching here, which matches the copper on the base here. Very nice touch. I imagine there was 5 different patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's got a little square marked. I don't know if you guys can see this. This one's diamond, circle, triangle, square. Okay. So I'm guessing circle would be this guy by its pattern. You want to say that circle. So I guess not all 4 lights will light up at the same time. You have 4 different LEDs and 4 different patterns that you get to pick. That actually makes sense, except the 5th one. I don't know what the 5th one would be. An optional circle. This is definitely triangle. Just drop it in, turn it clockwise, it locks into place. Circle is the only one I'm sure about, honestly. We'll call the ones that look like rectangles here, we'll call that the square. I'm going to guess this is going to be your diamond one, but I guess one of them is pre-selectable, pick your own. But if I change my mind in the future, here's the question. Once it's in here, I don't know how easy it would be to take apart if you decide to change your mind. Okay. Once you're locked into that decision, it takes a bit to pull off. Part of the weatherproofing, I'm assuming. It does take a bit to pull off. It clamps in there pretty good. And of course, you don't want to do that until you turn the power on and pair it with the app, because then otherwise it's just not going to come on and off without it, right? So you kind of need that part. It doesn't seem to require a USB A to C like they do that proprietary where they skip on some of the wiring. This is a straight USB-C to USB-C power distribution charging block that I'm using here, and the straight USB-C cable, and it seems to be compatible with this. So this is why they probably didn't provide the cable, because probably already have a USB-C cable by now. We'll go with the light height. Let's assume this is flush to the ground, which is actually nice that it would be flush. Hopefully this is some strong plastic, because I know I got a lot of rocks and debris in my yard. That's a very tight fit. Not bad though, so it wouldn't be too hard to pull that off for cutting the grass. And if this is flush, it should be good. And it's got a big black base too, so it'll make it easier to find it. Where my other poles used to just be a small little pole, and then you kind of lose track. And I think the other ones used to have a piece that stuck up, so they got broke sometimes when I was cutting the grass. I'd run over them and they'd snap. This being flush and a bigger base would be easier to find and put the lights back after cutting the grass, and not having that piece stick up, and having, you know, the male piece go down into the female into the ground piece. That reversal makes it perfect. Even if I ran it over with the lawnmower, it's not going, it shouldn't break them. As long as it's flush up against the ground should support that piece there like that. Should be good. I just cut the grass yesterday, so I don't think I'm going to be able to really find that out right now. Two different options for the height. So we're going to have higher off the ground, which makes sense, because if they're as bright as I read they are, or heard they are, you want them up higher so you can reflect more light to a wider pattern to have more coverage of what you're trying to light up. But if you don't want them that high, you could just remove one and bring it down. And if you really wanted to go low, not sure why, but everybody's different, you could just stick it right to the base and you'll be flush with the ground. I do like the fact that it has options. I like options. Options is good. Okay. One last thing to do, and that's to pair it up to an app. I don't have a room called, well, I got porch driveway. All right, we'll add it in there. Porch driveway. I'm just going to hit the power button, let it go into that blinking, which is pairing mode, and it automatically shows up on nearby. And I select the SP6 pathway light as bright. Maybe pairing mode shouldn't be so bright since we're pairing them inside before we go put them outside. I guess this will be a suggestion AI dot. Set pairing mode at 50% brightness. Let's not blind everybody while we're trying to get these paired up. That should be a simple firmware tweak. Waiting to connect. Now when it connects, there we go. Flashing different colors. Now we're going to rename this to, we'll just do light 1. I'll leave the default name and I'll just put a 1 at the end. And we're at 100% here, so bring that down. Presets, DIY, music, color. Let's go about 5,000 Kelvin. Light mode. Settings, 7 p.m. till next day, 12 a.m. Okay, so that we're going by time. I'm assuming the time has synced up over the app. Luminance detection. Light will automatically come on when it becomes dark and turn off when it becomes light again. We can choose the light we want to use. Only under the colors, though. So does this mean only one of the lights is colored? Let's make that an obvious green. Let's make that an obvious, well, green. Change that light to purple, but then if I go back to that light, it's purple also. So it's changing them all to purple. Okay, so red becomes red, becomes red, becomes red. Doesn't matter where I'm at. All right, I do have a battery level in here. It does say 100%. Guess we should try out the different patterns. I like that. I do like some of these patterns. Not sure how good that's showing up on camera. It's showing up pretty good, actually. It's bright enough to do it. Now, I will say the one thing about having 4 different lights gives you 4 different patterns to choose from without having to take the light apart and change the lens, which is great. I like that idea. If your charger port is face down and your buttons are face down, like so, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and as long as you have these same patterns on every one, so in this case, that would be that pattern, that would be that one, circle. So these all match here to here, here to here, here to here. So that way when I select the modes in a group, all the lights do the same pattern. All right, so these are all matched up. Now, we can blind everybody all at the same time here. Now that we have one hooked up to the app, we can actually just show you at this point. They're just starting to pop up 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can actually, instead of just adding one, you could have just added all 4 at the same time. Now at this point, we have a group light option, which means we can literally just go into the group light, turn them off and all on at the same time. Let's turn this brightness down. Thank you. Instead of blinding me. All right. Let's go for color. Let's go for 4000 Kelvin on all of them. Let's turn the brightness up a little bit to about 50% there. I left this off intentionally because I really want to see what this would look like without any type of reflector dome on it. Battery is 1800 milliamps, which is more than enough even for these powerful bright LEDs. Solar panel is a 1.8 watt 5 volt solar panel. Not much more on here to go over. I only have one more thing to go over, and I'm going to do that now.